HubSpot versus GoHighLevel. I'm a CRM consultant. I've worked in both of these platforms. Let's go through pros and cons and help you decide which one of these would be best for your use case, for your situation. And let's start with the different philosophies that are behind HubSpot and behind GoHighLevel. Behind both of these platforms is kind of two different philosophies. HubSpot is a huge company and has a lot of enterprise features and a lot of very large companies that have built their revenue platform around HubSpot. HighLevel tends to be a lot more geared towards small companies, SMBs, but especially marketing agencies. When you log into GoHighLevel, you'll see that it's geared around their affiliate program and selling sub accounts. I don't sell GoHighLevel this way, but there's an agency dashboard, sub accounts. It's created as kind of a way for agencies to customize something like this and resell. And then you can switch between your different accounts and help manage them. And so that's really where GoHighLevel shines, is if you're a marketing agency and you want to be able to have your own platform white labeled and have it show up as something else for your clients, but it doesn't feel like GoHighLevel is built for anyone else, although it can be, and it is used by lots of different types of companies, not just marketing agencies. But it tends to be something that can feel like it's being sold. And I found a really funny comment on Reddit that I'll post here. It says clearly a very high commission for those promoting it because they push it like drug dealers. And that made me laugh. If you've seen some of the agencies pushing HighLevel, it kind of, that is kind of the vibe that it gives off, but it has some great core features. One of the things that can be difficult with a lot of CRM, especially with something like HubSpot, is native two-way SMS. If you're considering HighLevel, you're probably a smaller business. And in that case, having that built in is actually really nice. You can do that in HubSpot too. Their app marketplace offers that. And there's a lot of AI tools. We'll talk about that in a second. The AI voice agents that HighLevel has too. And then you can do that in HubSpot. But there's a few features that are difficult to replicate in other systems. And that's a reason why you might go with HighLevel. Just in general, HubSpot is much more mature. They're forecasting their pipeline. Like a deal pipeline in HubSpot looks like this. There's a lot of features here. It's extremely robust, and that is definitely better in HubSpot. They have this in HighLevel as well. So you can still get a lot of the same things done. You have your stages, you have your cards, you open them up. It works. There's a lot less here. But you can see another example of here where you can send SMS straight from the deal view. And if you're more of a B2C, this is the kind of stuff that would lead you to pick HighLevel over HubSpot. Just having that built in. And of course, you can do two-way SMS HubSpot, but this native integration is awesome. There are a lot more features. There's many, many more features. Pipeline management, but also forecasting, sending estimates and quotes. HighLevel is not as polished. And that's why I'm going to give HubSpot the win on ease of use. HubSpot just has a lot more little things that just make sense. There's a lot more cues on what, if you go to create a deal, it's a lot more. I would say that HubSpot is beautifully done, considering the amount of power that it has behind the scenes. It's not the easiest CRM, but compared to HighLevel, HubSpot is going to be more intuitive in general. AI and advanced automation. So I tried to figure out which one's better here. This is a rare thing for me. I'm going to give them the same score. HubSpot's workflow tools, their ability to catch exceptions, to guide you so you don't make mistakes, is so good. But there are a few of the new things, as I'm recording this, that HighLevel has that HubSpot doesn't have. So like if you want these voice AI agents, like this lead qualification agent here, and this is not necessarily easy to use, but it works. And there's these different, when you go into HighLevel and you're trying to figure out all these, Agent Studio, voice AI, conversation AI, these are very different things and they overlap. And this is part of what, it's just not as polished. Like this, you can see this page here, Agent Studio, looks pretty standard CRM stuff, but then all of a sudden you're on this landing page with some crazy stuff here. And here's a test. So let's see how
The CRM coach on your AI assistant. I can book appointments, answer questions.
Great. Help me book an appointment.
Sure thing. What day works best for you? Can't open days on weekdays.
Let's do Monday.
All right, they work.
So that's pretty cool. But it's trying to actually make that work is easier said than done. Then you're back to, this other type of agent that just like, what is this? Let's create a bot. And some of this gets just janky. Like this, I clicked on this to create a new, conversation AI to test this out. And I got like all these pop-ups showing up. And I'm like, what the heck is all this stuff? Enable autosave, and there's a few that already popped up before I opened this. And I'm like, what is, so, and this is what I do for a living. And I'm still like, this just doesn't always make sense in GoHighLevel. HubSpot would never release something that's lacking that amount of polish. So customization and scalability. HighLevel, you can do custom objects too. HighLevel is pretty configurable, and but in general, HubSpot is just a lot more robust and less buggy than HighLevel. So that's where I'm going to give HubSpot a higher score there. Integrations and ecosystem. HubSpot has a much bigger ecosystem. They have an entire conference they hold every year. HighLevel is a little more of a niche within a niche, and it matters maybe less in today's AI age where you can get help with AI agents and you can connect things custom that were more difficult to do before. And so this maybe doesn't matter as much going forward, depends on what you're looking for. And I just wonder about HighLevel's durability. They have thousands of customers, but they're privately held. And HubSpot is a huge public company. With pricing, I'd rate them pretty similar, but for different reasons. HubSpot has a per seat pricing, which you could say is not as straightforward as HighLevel, but HighLevel has quite a few different levels as well. And they do have a lot of other fees. They're ATP, SMS fees. They have other fees. Well, at a glance, HighLevel, you think you're getting really straightforward pricing, and you are. It's not always that simple. There's pros and cons with both of them. But one of the things that's a nuance is HighLevel doesn't charge you per seat, and neither does HubSpot in a way. So HubSpot has unlimited view-only seats. So if you're trying to get people to just be able to see things in HubSpot, you can add as many of those as you want for free. But if you want people to be able to do things, they call them core seats, then you have to pay per seat. But the other thing is that HubSpot, if we're looking at comparing it to HighLevel, then you're probably not looking at the professional level plans of HubSpot, the enterprise level plans of HubSpot, and you're probably looking at starter. HubSpot is a very generous starter plan. You're probably not looking at free HubSpot because HighLevel is heavier on the marketing. And if you want HubSpot for marketing, then you're going to have to pay something. So HubSpot's free plan is probably off the table for you. You're probably comparing starter HubSpot and starter. You can see right now there happens to be a pretty good promo for 40% off, which makes $10 a month per user. So unless you have a lot of people that you're going to be adding as seats in HubSpot, and that's not, remember, you can have unlimited free seats, the view only seats, but you're going to have to add a lot of seats in HubSpot to be the same price as HighLevel at the starter level. Just keep that in mind. HubSpot is definitely not, it depends. If you jump to professional, you can see this is a big jump. But if you're comparing HubSpot starter versus GoHighLevel starter, then you're going to have at the current rate, you're going to have 10 users. You're going to have 10 paid seats in HubSpot to be the same price as HighLevel. So HubSpot isn't necessarily more expensive, although that's what I keep seeing online as I talk to people. They're like, well, HubSpot's, they're going to get you. And maybe they will. Maybe you love HubSpot so much and you use it as an essential part of your business, and you really do want to go for the professional platform and commit annually at that point. But if you're just looking to get started, maybe that is how they get you. But the thing is it actually is less expensive by quite a bit than HighLevel, and this starter plan is quite generous. It includes a lot of things that GoHighLevel doesn't have. It's a lot more polished. It's a higher quality software, and you're going to get a lot more for running your entire marketing and sales platform out of this one tool. But if this voice AI agent thing is really alluring to you, or if the two-way SMS messaging is really important to you, which are some of the only things that HighLevel has that HubSpot doesn't, then you're going to have to include that as well in your analysis. And so maybe you have five people in HubSpot at whatever it is, $9 a month right now. and then you pay something extra for a phone, SMS plan thing, like Air Call or Just Call that are really good in HubSpot, and you can have the two-way text. That's some of the process you're probably going through right now. And so if you'd like help with that, reach out to me as a resource. But I'm going to rate HubSpot as higher because you can grow into HubSpot. And if you don't want to grow into HubSpot, then you don't have to. And it's probably going to be easier to set up and less money than HighLevel. And you're going to get something over the total cost of ownership. I think all in, you're probably going to be less. HighLevel also has their fees for the SMS side as well. So, all right, analytics and reporting. So this is probably one of the clearest areas where HubSpot is just better at analytics and reporting. If you're looking at the starter version of HubSpot, though, it's not going to be as robust as what is available in other editions of HubSpot. But if you're talking about CRM visibility, HighLevel is pretty limited unless you're using HighLevel for what it's really designed for, and you're an agency that's trying to resell this to clients. And then there's some things in here that'll actually be easier than in HubSpot. But you can track Google ads in HubSpot as well. You can track Facebook ads in HubSpot, attribution reports. This is what HubSpot is built for. But they have this here in HighLevel as well. And a lot of the standard kind of reports, they're going to be pretty equivalent, but just the level of funnel attribution, that kind of stuff, that's HubSpot's bread and butter. You can see even on free and starter, you're getting the web analytics dashboard and on top of all the other types of reports that HubSpot comes with. If you're looking at HighLevel, you're probably a small business. Let's say that's the case, and you're a little more of a B2C kind of business. Then HighLevel might not be just a 5.5 for you. It might be at HubSpot. But as far as an SMB use case where it's more B2B and you're looking at a full marketing platform, HubSpot's a much better fit. Their starter plan is probably the one for you. But that's not just because HubSpot is so great, but that's more just compared to HighLevel. HighLevel is built for agencies and has a lot of agency-specific features and is not really meant to be run by your average standalone company. Where are these, as we look at these two different platforms' ability to execute on a vision, HubSpot is very rigorous in their releases. They're well thought through, very deliberate. HighLevel, there's times where they've moved a lot faster. Like right now, they moved a lot faster with, but I was showing you some of these bots and AI agents that you can build in HighLevel. This is something that HubSpot does not have for this particular types of AI agents. You can't do some of this stuff just out of the box in HubSpot. And you might have to look at, using 11 Labs agents or retail AI agents that can plug into, or maybe you already have something like AirCall and you can use AirCall with HubSpot. But if you want it built in to your platform, then HighLevel is much better. But even this, trying to figure out, is this Agent Studio? Is it voice AI? Is it conversational AI? Is it a bot? Which, can this even talk to my calendar? Like some of this stuff is not as easy as you think it would be in HighLevel. And they're a wrapper on top of these systems, just like any of these other tools that you would be using and plug into HubSpot or plug into whatever CRM tool that you're using. But as I worked through both of these platforms, I find that HubSpot's execution is always dialed in. Their design is consistent. The reliability is high. And whereas HighLevel, I end up with, multiple dialog boxes popping up at the same time. I end up with a feeling of less quality, although I've had a lot of success with getting things to work in HighLevel still. It's not like nothing works. It's just that it's a little more of a move fast and break things kind of mentality, and just the quality level is not as high. And that's part of what has allowed them to move a lot faster and move into these new breaking areas with AI, just a little bit further ahead of HubSpot, which also has a lot of AI capability as well. Their prospecting agent, their customer service agent, their data quality agent. That's something that HighLevel doesn't have at all. Like their ability to enrich data, et cetera. HubSpot is doing a great job on some of those fronts, but some of these more flashy set up an AI voice agent stuff, HighLevel is pushing the edge further on that, and doesn't mean it doesn't work. It doesn't mean it's not as good. It's just in general, the quality level is where I'm going to give HubSpot the win. Which one's right for you? HighLevel is clearly a fit if you're a marketing agency managing multiple clients. There might be situations where if you're a franchise, you have a lot of franchisees across the country or across the world that you're trying to manage, kind of give them their own platforms and even have them pay for their own. HubSpot has some of that ability to have multiple accounts, but that's the wedge that HighLevel has in the marketplace, is around a white label capability and their ability to manage multiple clients as a marketing agency. HubSpot is a lot more robust, a lot more durable, higher quality in general, and includes a lot more tools. When it comes down to just simple things, can it keep track of data relationships between contacts and companies? Can it keep track of sending out emails? Can it function as a CRM? They both can do that. So at some level, you're going off of which one resonates more with you and you just like better. And in that case, that is an easy decision. But it's a big decision with the consequences. This is probably a multi-year thing. If you're diving into one of these tools and training your team and setting up your business on top of one of these, then it might make sense to go through something like my top priorities survey, a revenue assessment. This can help you figure out which one of these is right for you. And it's not going to be tool specific, but it's more challenge specific, and help you think through training and think through prospecting and think through lifecycle marketing management kind of things. And then once you know what your top challenges are, then it's a lot easier to apply that to making the best decision for which CRM to go with. So I hope that helps. See you in the comments or reach out at crm.coach.